So
That's
I like deep and thick with noticeable crack. Welcome. This is the Insignificants in Oral History of Darling Waste. I am Jamie, one of the people who has supported Darling Waste over the years, and I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Darling Waste himself.
I think you've worn more hats in Darling Waste than anyone. You've definitely been touring guitarist, touring bass player. You've been producer, songwriter. You've been obviously studio engineer, mixing, mastering, and then you played every instrument, right? I don't think there's something you haven't played on a Darling Waste record.
The only thing I haven't directly played was drums, although I did drum sampling and drum editing. So we'll say that counts. Like we composed some drum stuff out of bits and pieces for a couple of songs there.
I don't know for a fact I've done more than one, but I know for a fact that I have drummed one Darling Waste song. We'll talk about it when we get to it. But nice. I do have a distinct memory of drumming one Darling Waste song.
I think when I get my studio back set up in a couple months here, I think I'm going to have to drum on a new song just to.
Absolutely, I would love that.
I didn't sing on it. Well, no, I did. I did those weird vocal things on that one. Probably some backup vocals.
There is a hidden track that is one of your songs that
it is. You're
sing
right.
more than half of it.
We did that in my dining room as a live take.
One thing that this is helping for more than anything else is I'm finding out that some songs aren't on the internet anymore, and I'm actually being able to fix this because neither of the hidden tracks on the first record are on Spotify or YouTube. So I was digging actually this morning to find out who distributed this record. So I'm going to contact them and see if I can get some stuff put on here.
Funny that you mentioned that. I have 3 times reached out to them to get them to pull my stuff off of YouTube and end my distribution contract with them, and I cannot get a response. So I'm thinking I'll submit a copyright claim on YouTube just to get their attention.
I was actually wondering if we're going to get copyright striked for shit as we move forward where other labels distributed it. When we play the song, I'm wondering if I'm going to get copyright strikes on it. Why are you trying to pull them down?
I want to put him back up, but through my account. I just want control. Okay. That's all.
That makes sense.
And I've been over the years toying with remixing my favorite songs and only putting those ones out because I really don't like the mixes. But I think I'm just going to write new shit now. So forget going back.
Yeah, I was, how I always am. I was listening to this first record and I'm like, I would like another stab at this. And it's like, dude, no, you're 45 years old. You don't need another stab at these songs. Fucking let it sit.
How amazing, right? Like for the 30th anniversary or something.
Yeah, man. Because I do not. Some of the vocal performances are horrible. We did get some feedback. Yeah, we'll go over some numbers. We won't do this every week, but we'll do it for the opening show. So do you know how many total listeners we had, or can you guess?
No idea.
Okay.
I would have said in the high single digits.
That was my guess. My guess was 3 to 7. 25.
Oh,
so that's not bad, right? I think it was 13. I think one of them was definitely you. But 13 on Spotify and 12 on YouTube or vice versa. So they're kind of neck and neck. But yeah, we got some good feedback. Someone said that I got a comment that just said, "Hey, it sounds like a podcast. It sounds like everyone else's podcast that I listen to. You guys sound like a podcast. Good job." And
I'll take it.
I'll take that. And then someone said they liked our voices. And then you specifically got a comment. I'm looking for it.
Can my ego take this?
No, it was nice. It was. It basically just said, "I really like your co-host." It was a generalization.
Aww,
there was no
kind.
details. Yeah.
Well, then I'll just assume it's my super sexy voice and stunning intellect.
Before we go further, how was Godot?
Godot was very, very interesting, is what I will say.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the short version,
Yeah.
because my wife and I have spent endless time talking about our impressions of this. The first is that nobody should go to see Keanu and Alex in a Broadway version of a major, yet crazy play and expect that you're going to get like the height of acting. They are who they are. They both did a great job. We actually were pretty impressed with Alex. I thought Keanu being Keanu, because Keanu can't be anybody else, I thought it worked for the character he was playing, but was of course not like phenomenal acting. And it's a weird existential play anyway. So very, a lot of just open-ended interpretation of stuff. I thought the set design was pretty cool. The lighting was a bit harsh throughout. So it was a mixed bag, but a really neat experience. Like, it's a short run play. When else are you going to see this sort of thing? So we were very happy we went, and, overall, given what everybody was working with, they did a really nice job.
I was out with friends talking about the fact that you were there, and I just kept purposely mispronouncing Godot as Godot, and having people correct me, and then go, no, I don't think so. I think it's Godot or Godot. And they're like, no, it's Godot. I'm like, I don't think so. And I was cracking myself up, frustrating my intellectual friends by pretending that I knew for a fact it was Godot. And then I was like, well, how do you say Gal Gadot then? They're like,
which is interesting. We looked up later what is the right way to pronounce it, and it depends on where the show is being put on. So there's an English, a French, and an American English pronunciation of it. And the probably the closest is between an English and a French pronunciation when the playwright himself put it on. But historically in the U.S., it's Godot. In England, it's Godot. I think it's Godot. Gatto?
Yeah.
Gatto.
Oh,
that's
Gatto.
what it is.
Okay.
Yep, Gatto. And then in France, it's Godot. Like, so in England, it's first syllable. In U.S. English, it's second syllable. In France, it's both syllables, even weight. So.
Okay. Well,
again, positive this is getting edited out of this, but
I don't know, man. This is the good stuff. This is what they're here for.
Apparently the stuff that brings all the good feedback in. Can I just do a podcast of me discussing whatever Wikipedia article I read the night before?
Speaking of that, hold on. I do have one. This is something I learned this week. Do you know Bonnie Taylor's Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Oh, yeah.
You know that song? Okay.
Great song.
The original song was called Vampires in Love, was the original title for that song. And it was written by a man who a couple years earlier was attempting to write it was the 80s, so just a rock opera for Nosferatu. And that was going to be the big love number. And then when you listen to it, it's like Forever's going to start tonight, and like it's all these gothic imagery, because it's vampires proclaiming and it was supposed to be a duet, and he never got his vampire rock opera off the ground, so he gave it to Bonnie Taylor. The world is ready for a 1980s Nosferatu rock opera. I don't think he's alive anymore, but his estate should hire someone to make. I'm ready. I want a Nosferatu rock opera. Have you listened to Taylor Swift's new album?
I have. Do we want to go there?
I have the same thoughts that I had on her last two albums. Her last three albums have all sounded like Taylor Swift walked in a room and said, "You get me for 3 days. We're taking the first take of my vocals." I think all of them are like zygotes of good songs on a demo reel that sounds like a pretty impressive demo tape, and people are just taking it because it's Taylor Swift. I wish she would continue writing and continue producing and revising and singing. Give us some more takes. There's some stuff on Midnights where I'm like, that can't be the best take of that vocal line.
I'm one of those folks that, after Lover, I really struggle with these last 5 albums.
Is that including the 2 Woods albums?
Yeah.
Those are my 2 favorite albums by Taylor.
I think there's some good songs on them, but I'm just not like, she's not a great vocalist. I don't think anybody would say she's a great vocalist. No. And so, especially on those albums, I get just bored with her vocal sound. and the instrumentation and the same tempo and everything else. So, you know, like I love the second album. Third album has not aged well. Fourth and fifth albums, so I love Reputation and really love Lover. And then I just fall off a cliff with her. And I agree with you. The songwriting is bland. The lyrics are bland. The music production is bland. Every tempo is the same. Especially on this album, we heard every one of these melodies before on the prior albums.
Yeah, the song structures, the chord patterns. Yeah, you kind of once it starts, you know where it's at, and it just never goes anywhere. And I do agree with that.
Very unimpressed. Elizabeth Taylor was probably the one that stuck out the most to me. I don't think it's a great song, but at least it had some like sticking power in my mind.
Not Wood, the song about Travis's dick.
I don't even know what to do with that shoddy lyricism. I don't know if it was the Atlantic or Vox that had the review, but basically, like, it's not edgy enough a lyric to be pushing any boundaries, and it's not artistic enough a lyric to do. It is just like as like bad writing from a high schooler as you could possibly get on
there could be there could be a version of that song, right, where it's more coy and more and then she drops and then you're like, oh, that whole song's about a dick, oh my god, you know, like,
and like it
if
she went like off the deep end level of like profanity, great, at least that's like totally different, but it was so unnecessary, like
it's
and I you know, you just wonder if
it was in the prenup.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, we're just gonna leave it there. I'm not even gonna try to finish my thought after that.
But you gotta sing a song about my dick. So I guess it's time to listen to my song now that we've trashed, you know, one of the most prolific songwriters of our generation. So today we are here talking about Drive Away, the second song of Darling Waste's first album. This is going to start a fun thing because I like to re-release my songs. So at some point, I guess there will be a Drive Away 2 podcast, which will be much shorter than this one.
Did we re-record this for Manifest Destiny?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Better. I can't wait to hear the difference because I have some thoughts on this one in terms of my parts.
And I was thinking, I'm like, do we play them both? I'm like, no, we'll just wait till we get to it later. Then we can go back and maybe play the first one, then the second one. But so we'll just let this one lie as it lies. So second track of the first album, Truth About Lies. This one was really late in the writing process. I believe it was the last song written. I'm almost positive it was the last song written. My big takeaway from what I remember about writing this song is I had already started 1034 Records. I was already working with a couple bands. I was booking those bands around Cleveland, like Peabody's, Pick Cleveland, Grog Shop, Symposium Fantasy. And then the way I was getting Darling Waste popular, and I didn't even have a full band yet, was in between the changeovers, I had my keyboard set up, and I would get up on stage and MC, thank everyone for coming and saying the next band will be up in 15 minutes. By the way, I'm in a band called Darling Waste. This is Changing the Seasons. And I would force everyone at these shows to listen to Changing the Seasons. But it worked. I had a whole scene. We had that whole scene in Cleveland of pop punk emo kids who really were fucking into that song. And it became this like theme song for this little group of people. So I remember writing Drive Away specifically for that crowd. Like this, that's the memory I have is I need another song that the kids of this Cleveland emo scene can sing along with. So it's also written in open D, which is a lot of my music ends up being. This is the first open D song that I think I've ever had.
Well, I mean, if you can just be that much lazier with your fingering, why wouldn't you? But it's interesting that you mention the sort of the sonic connection or feel connection between Changing the Seasons and Drive Away. I'd never really thought about that with those two, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, yes, there's absolutely that same sort of vibe happening there. It makes a lot of sense to me.
All right, let's listen to Drive Away.
Okay.
Crying as you're driving, as the rain falls from the sky, and you're thinking about leaving as a tear falls from your eye. And No one ever has the right to make you feel the way you feel tonight. Somehow, some way, I will make this all okay. I know someday we will both drive away. Needing and I'm bleeding as my friends just turn away. They are lying and deceiving as they never meant to stay. And no one has ever felt the way I feel about you today. Somehow, some way, I will make this all okay. I know someday we will both drive away. And if you wanted, we could leave tonight. 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 Tonight. Somehow, some way, I will make this all okay. I know someday we'll both drive away. Somehow, some way, I will make this all okay. I know someday we will both drive away. We will both drive away. We will both drive away. We will both drive away.
Okay. The bass trail is like 4 seconds or something. All right. What are your thoughts there? Also,
Yes.
I will definitely overdub that since I dropped a microphone in the middle of it, or the very beginning.
Yeah, let's do first impressions, each of our first impressions, and we can get into some nitty gritty maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
So
All right, go ahead.
I remember when I was prepping for this episode and I hadn't heard, now that I know it's this version, I could completely forgotten that we have multiple versions, but I was listening to it. My first impression was, you know what? That's a pretty good chorus. Like I'm not talking about the production, the singing, anything like that, but just like the overall writing of that chorus. I was like, yeah, I'm sort of feeling this whenever the chorus hits. I'm like, yeah, I feel this. And that last chorus too, where you just really go for it a little bit. So, I was pleasantly surprised by that while having many, many quibbles with my own recording issues on this one.
Okay. Yeah, I am very close to that. I think I was actually thinking about this in the pantheon of Darling Waste and the not what I think is the best songs, because obviously I'm going to have recency bias. I would just point to the last like 2 records or something probably. No, I hate a lot of the last record too. I hate a lot of stuff I do. But as far as what people latched on to are the biggest songs, Drive Away's top 10, right? As far as people want to hear it, it made some radio, not this version, but the next version made some radio. It actually was on MTV on some shows. Drive Away got some play. So, and it was a big staple of our early live show for several years.
So it sort of did what you had intended it to do in terms of being that companion piece to Changing the Seasons.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, people caught on to it. And it's funny on this version because one, I think we play the whole thing a little bit faster live anyway, but that middle part cooks live. We totally change. We don't play this one on a backing track at all, or even our click tracks. And this one, it used to be, we used to play two or three songs for the encore, and this was the first encore song. And we would just come out and just do it, and we could get a big crowd thing going on for that. But yeah, sorry. Overall, it's I don't know. It's like, yeah, I agree with you. The chorus is a nice chorus. I see what was going for. I can tell this was written by like a just out of high school person. What about some nitty gritty stuff? Some grain.
So, I mean, just to throw myself under the bus to start, boy, there is a bad punch of the vocal toward the end. I can't remember exactly where, but so for those that may not know, this album was mostly recorded on 8-at tapes. So they are 8-track digital tapes, and you can synchronize multiple machines. This was either a 16 or a 24-track setup that we had, but it meant that punches were done live. We couldn't slide stuff around later, really. I think we mixed it in a DAW, but the recording wise was done the old fashioned tape way, just with digital tape instead of that. So I heard some of those punches where I was like, oh, I punched a hair early, so it clipped off some trail of something and just made it an abrupt punch. So little things like that for me.
For me, the 2 biggest things that I hate that I did. One, I wish someone would have taken the bass out of my hand. That it's just the most overplayed 90s bass. Do 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 do. It's like, oh, please stop. Like, with
and was that your Steinberger?
Probably. That just needs a bass playing along with the changes and keeping the rhythm going and not
just really locked in with that kick, real simple.
Yeah, really stupid bass. Drives me crazy. And then I am just pitchy as shit. And then also sleepy sounding for both verses. I was still doing this, and I was thinking about this today. The older you get, the more. So like I feel like I would have been 21 singing this, is so far removed from child me, but 6 years earlier, I was in a show choir. 5 years earlier, I was in a show choir. So I think I still had some really bad show choir-y, like open your mouth as wide as you can to there's no rock or emotion in these vocals whatsoever. I'm like kneading and I'm bleeding. It's very like open. Like I just want to be like, can you go kneading and I'm bleeding? Like give me some.
Well, and I wonder how much my production didn't help with that. Like, was I pushing you to enunciate and open up rather than going for more of the emotional singing?
And then also, I don't think this could be wrong, but I do remember years later, even people being like, man, the auto-tune didn't work on that song. And I'm like, no, that's just how my fucking voice sounds.
There was no auto-tune.
No, I didn't think so. I don't think this whole record has any pitch correcting, right?
I mean, it's plausible that we did post-back, but I don't think you had the budget. I think, if anything, we would have done just a word here or there, but mostly there wouldn't have been any
because there's actual times where I kind of start on pitch and then start wobbling off or like even up. Yeah. And it does sound like I'm fighting an auto-tune, and that's just how my voice sounds. And it's on all of our records. It's always been like that.
Well, and I noticed listening to it today, I hadn't really thought about it, but you sound young. Like, I don't mean that like show choir versus not show choir stuff, but I mean just you sound like a 21, 22-year-old singing versus I'm not so used to you now, that recency bias, but you just sound like a younger person. I think I've also really thickened in a good way your overall voice.
No, it's weird even hearing me talk then versus now. I sound sleepy when I talk, just like in interviews and stuff. I'm like, I'm like, I project even in just my daily speaking so much louder and gravelier and just more animated than I used to be, which is weird because I as a human have calmed way down. But as a voice actor or what the fuck ever, like I seem to have more,
It's the law of inverse proportions. As you have gotten more sensible and calm in your life, your singing has gotten more and more intense and rocky. So,
yeah. So speaking of intense and rocky, let's talk about the intense and rocky screams.
Oh yeah, I have some notes on those. I'm like, it's literally my note says, "Oh, underlined the scream at the end of the bridge, 4 exclamation marks."
Mm-hmm. So I remember a discussion with you. We did it. I think in the second version, I only do it once. This version, the scream happens twice. And I remember a version where I did it 3 times. And you were like, why? This is killing us. So I did a 2. And then the correct one is just 1. Or maybe the correct one's none. I don't know.
Because I don't mind one good scream here or there, like where it just hits a moment. I'll go back to one of my favorite Paramore songs, My Heart. There's a backup scream at the end of that song. It's like, yep, that works for me once.
Yeah, I think so. This was 2001. This was probably fall. This is the last song we did. So probably late summer, early fall of 2001.
Is it possible this is actually 2003?
No, 2002. I'm sorry, 2002.
2002, and it was released in 2003? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I think it was released January of 2003. At that time, Further Seems Forever's The Moon Is Down had just come out. Thursday's Full Collapse had just come out. And I want to say the Used first album, which is it just self-titled?
It's very possible because I remember listening to that while driving towards the apartment that you and I shared. Listening to the Used album. I can think of the specific stop sign that I was at in Lakewood.
Okay, so the Used first album did come out in 2002. June. It had just come out. So those were hitting me like a ton of bricks. Those 3 albums particularly, the mixture of emotional singing with screaming was like, this is where I need to be. I don't want to, this album started out as a 90s pop rock album and ended with me being like, fuck that sound. We're doing.
You sort of progressed from, Counting Crows, Gin Blossoms through to Our Lady Peace and then into, that stuff that was coming out, that sort of early emo, screamo, post-punk sort of stuff.
Okay. Here's some compliments for you. Second verse, when it kicks in, your guitar work, and I think that's probably you on piano as well. The extra instrumentation for that second verse when it kicks in really sounds great. And
well, thank you. I like the feel of the second verse. There's definitely some real plinky guitar lead lines in this that I am not a fan of. Both sonically, but also just. This is something I thought about with a lot of my early stuff and listening to this album, feeling some of those just noodly guitar lines going on just didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I think I didn't notice it that much on this record though. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Question for you. Do you remember which acoustic guitar was used at the beginning of this? I was wondering if that was Andy's Taylor. By any chance?
It could have been. It was really, a really warm body to it. You did a really good job recording that. It, for a rock song, it has a really nice thickness to it. A lot of songs don't get.
I think it works once the music's in. I didn't like it in the intro. I felt like it was sort of stringy and gritty on my ears.
I actually liked it.
Okay, so interesting.
Yeah, because I think a lot of rock songs, the guitar is they gut it, and make it really tinny to cut through, and then it just sounds like a really cheap, crappy guitar. And I thought that's a guitar in a room, and it sounds nice. I don't know. I think later Darling Way stuff that I did without you, the guitar tone is crap. The acoustic guitar tone is crap compared to what you were pulling off.
Well, and of course you had access to different instruments, right? Like, I mean, that was if that was the Taylor, it was a couple $1,000 Taylor, or a lot of the other early albums were done on my Takamine, which is a higher level instrument.
That's what I was
wondering. I think I think it was hard. You just didn't have access to some of those same things. So not your fault.
Is that Andy on drums? I'm assuming
that is my thought, because we did have him do drums on a few songs on this, and I don't remember which song it was where his headphones fell off during the first take, so he couldn't hear anything. He couldn't hear the click, but he didn't stop playing, and he was on with the track the whole way through. Total machine.
So if you didn't listen last week, Andy that we're talking about is Andy Kubaszewski from Kubaszewski from Stabbing Westward primarily, but also a bunch of other things.
Hey, Andy, we miss you.
Andy's the best. Okay, two quick Andy stories so I can get them out of the way early in this run. One, I was a huge Stabbing Westward fan. Could not wait to meet him. He was in one of my favorite. If you don't know Stabbing Westward, they're 9 Inch Nails light, right? They were doing that like industrial meets radio rock stuff that I was eating up. And in all their videos, it's all black leather and jean jackets and chains and really edgy shit. And I was so intimidated to meet Andy, and I pulled into the parking lot of MetroSync. And Andy was in a spandex outfit, rollerblading with headphones on, roller dancing in a parking lot. And he's so fucking LA.
It's so funny that you chose that. The minute you said you wanted to tell Andy stories, that was the first story that came into my head, is that picture of Andy rollerblading. And you're right. He is just so LA. The salt really of the earth, but so LA.
Chillest dude. And then two, this is not an Andy story, but a me story. So tell me if I'm telling the story wrong, but did I have your permission to call Andy, or did I steal his number?
Well, do you remember? Knowing you probably stole his number out of my phone when I wasn't looking.
I think I stole his number. It was on it was in the office.
It was tacked up to the board or something.
Yeah, and I stole it and called him because you guys said he was this LA drummer. And I thought, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if I've ever said this. Because I used to not admit mistakes because I wanted to be like the coolest dude in the room, which I never was, but I wanted to be. I thought I confused Andy with Andy Stochansky, who was Ani DeFranco's drummer, and in a bunch of indie. So it was a pleasant surprise that I got an even bigger drummer in an industrial band. But I thought for the first 2 minutes I talked to Andy, I thought I was speaking to this like indie folk drummer that I think would have fit the project maybe a little better. But Andy's awesome, so it was still really cool. And I was trying to learn how to scream for that song. I very rarely screamed in Darling Ways after this. I think maybe there's 2 or 3 on this first album that I just kind of gave up. Which is funny because on my new band's album, I scream every song, and I'm screaming a lot more at 45 than I was at 20, for whatever reason. I just want to.
Remember, that's that law of inverse proportion. Yeah. As you've gotten calmer in real life, your singing has gotten more and more.
Well, intense. And they're just heavier. The songs I think just needed it. So
yeah, that was fun listening to that. Thank you for sharing that with all of us out there in the world.
But do you remember what microphone you gave me to scream into?
Oh gosh, let me see if I can think about what I would have.
I didn't remember until I heard it, and then I knew exactly what mic it was.
Did I give you a kick drum mic?
No. Do you want to guess more?
Oh man, what else would I have given you this?
I'll give you a hint. It's a specialty mic.
Is it the harmonica handheld mic? The green harmonica mic?
It is the Green Bullet. Yeah, the Green Bullet harmonica mic, because it already had that kind of overdriven, fuzzy sound.
And we probably plugged it into the Vibrolux amp and then mic'd the amp.
And then you just let me run around in the big room and just scream.
Yeah.
It's a cool mic. It's a cool mic to have in your arsenal, you know?
Yeah, why not?
The green bullet. That's what I was screaming into. I don't know if we want to dive into lyrics or not, but they suck.
We can absolutely dive into lyrics. I can't say I was giving them a huge listen just because this is pretty early in things. And
what I hate about it, here's the hatred. First line, what is it? Crying as you're driving as the rain falls from the sky. Perfect, right? Thinking about leaving. Perfect. As a tear falls from your eye. I've already established that you were crying, so why are we getting right back around to crying? So that drives. There's and it's and high solo. There's a million things you can say.
You also use falls twice.
Yeah. Just that's another one where we can be like, okay, so let's cut that out, and very standard. I don't know which pre-chorus is which, but it's no one ever has the right to make you feel the way you feel tonight. Fine, somehow, some way, I'll make this all okay. I know someday we'll both drive away. Fine. Next verse, man. Second verses are my biggest Achilles heel. There it is.
Heel. Yep.
Saying that is also very hard for me, apparently. That's also an Achilles heel. But second verses, man, I'm so bad at it. It's really, really early in my career. I was like, fucking say whatever. And this one is needing and I'm bleeding. As my friends just turn away, they are lying and deceiving as they never meant to stay.
Tell me why you dislike that. What aspect of it? Is it like the underlying sentiment, or is it the word choices?
I think it's both, right? It's about me, right? So this whole song is, hey girl, your life's hard, let's get the fuck out of here, right? It's the pop punk, fuck this town anyway kind of thing. And so the first verse is like, hey, you're in your car and you're crying and no one should make you feel this way. And the second verse is like, fuck my friends, by the way. And then the pre-chorus goes back to, no one should ever make you feel the way you feel today. So it's like, why did I take the second verse just be like, and by the way, fuck my friends. And I'm standing here bleeding.
Can I defend you then and see what you think?
Sure.
So if we take it as the first verse is sort of empathizing with her and her need to go, the second verse is, here's why you need to join her and go, is because
the second pre-chorus needed to be about me. It switches back to her for no reason.
Well, I didn't write it.
And couldn't I have just said your instead of mine? Needing and you're bleeding as your friends just look away, they are lying, and then it's still about her. I just don't know why I switched to me for one. It's just weird.
I like the switching to you, but you're right. If you had switched then that pre-chorus to you as well, so that it was really, you were giving both of your reasons why you two had to join forces to leave together and
I also don't know if it's on the second album or if it's just something I do live. So I say turn away in this, and I say walk away live, and I've never sang turn away that I know ever live. And then also I go, as your friends just turn away. I've never not went up on walk my entire career. I go, as your friends, now I can't do it. Needing as a bleeding as my friends just walk away. It's how I've sang it for 25 years. Yep. So I was shocked when I didn't do that, and I don't know, maybe it's on the second version.
But that's a nice change in vocal melody to introduce that at that point in the song. So kudos live, at least. We'll see what the second version has.
So okay, so that's it, and then bridges, and if you wanted we could leave tonight over and over and over, and then singing it. This is the first we've ever heard me do this, and first chronologically of 1 million times where I say I could write the song in my key, or we could drop it a fifth so I can sing it low for half of it and then high for half of it. And goddamn, do I still do that to this day on every song. I am uncomfortably low and uncomfortably high in every song I've ever written because I just love jumping that octave. It's like the only thing I consistently do in songs is just jump the octave.
But, given that this song is a little slower than it probably should on this particular version, that jumping the octave at that last chorus does really help propel the end of it. You can hear that you're not quite comfortable that high, but it does propel it out, which is nice little added boost at this length of song.
I also, somewhere in the last 20 years drop the "We Will Both Drive Away," the "We Will Both" after the first one. I go, when I'm singing high, I go, "We will both drive away, drive away, drive away." I was shocked that it was in there. I'm like, oh, I guess I used to, and I think it's on both albums. I just years ago stopped fooling with the "We Will Both," because I go, "We will both drive." It's just hard to do that.
Yeah.
Sort of stopped.
Well, that's another interesting point, is that so many of your songs were written and sort of created on the studio side that you didn't have a chance to work out and create
Very true.
the full authentic version that you then take back into the studio and fully tinker with and actualize. So
anything else with that? The When and Where it was recorded, we covered. Metrosync, probably fall of 2002. Who played on it? It was for sure me, for sure you, and most likely Andy.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably it. Who am I ripping off? I think for sure it was an attempt at a Dashboard Confessional meets Counting Crows, with some screaming of, Further Seems Forever is also the same guy from Dashboard. So I think it was definitely trying to be like a Further Seems Forever kind of song, I think, in my head at least.
Yeah.
Would be the who am I ripping off? How was it received? Very well. I will say this song has had legs. It's been around forever. It is often requested. We've played it on many radio stations. And so, yeah, it was, I would say, if we were a one-hit wonder band, our one hit was Changing the Seasons. If we were a two-hit wonder band, it's Changing the Seasons and Please Lie to Me from later in our career. If we were three, then it gets muddy. But I would say I Will Be Fine had quite a bit of fan love, and got some, he was on like 50 stations or so as well. It did okay on the radio. And then from there, Tour Vans was a big one for us. And then probably Drive Away is in that 5 through 8 area, I would say. There's some later songs too. Hannah Bond was a big song for us later. Sorry If It Matters is a big song for us.
Yeah, it's interesting thinking about what are like my favorite songs of yours versus the songs that were big in different ways.
Yeah, some of my favorite. Oh, When the Ball Drops had a lot
Yes,
of life.
I was going to say,
well.
I love that one.
That song had a lot of life to it. People really liked that one. So, yeah, I would say maybe like right in there. It's in that When the Ball Drops category.
It's certainly in your top 10.
Yeah, I'd say so. So that's how I received. How we played it live. Good Lord, yes, we played it live. We played it live a ton. It's on my set list for the first time. I'm playing it for the first time in like 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. Who knows? It's been off for years, but I'm playing it. Early days of touring. It was after the first tour, which you were on. We were playing West Virginia a lot. We were doing really well in West Virginia in a little town called Lost Creek. And there's a kid named Kevin Merrill, who was a high schooler, and he was in a pop punk band at the time. And so the way we used to book our tours, we would just go on MySpace and put out there that we want to come to your town. If you're in a band, talk to me. And these bands would talk to me, and I'd say, hey, if you can get us $100 and a spot to play, we'll come to your town. So Kevin did that, and he booked the show. And we went down there, and I think this was the second time. The first time we played at a church basement, which we played at many other times. And then the second time we played at a place that was a VFW kind of, it wasn't a VFW hall. It was just an empty building. I don't know who owned it. It said the house that Dick built on the outside of it. And we went, place was packed. And this was probably our third tour or our fourth tour. Just based on who was there, I think. But it was still really early days. We were still touring this first album, and Drive Away was one of our biggest songs, and place was packed for this show. And we were playing Drive Away, and we got to that part, the if you want to, we could leave tonight part where everyone sings along. I'm like, this is going to fucking go crazy. This could be one of the best. And I was like, I remember being hyped. And we get to it, and I always stop the song there and go, okay, we're going to speed it up a little bit, and it's really easy to sing, and I'm doing this. And this is, I think, the only time this has ever happened. I thought I was getting attacked on stage. Someone jumped up on stage, fist cocked back, angry-ass face, running at me as hard as they can. And I'm like, oh my God, we're getting attacked. And I jumped back, and the guy jumps off the stage and just blasts Kevin Merrill in the fucking face. And just fucking wrecks him. And then this fight, and I guess they were there to jump him. He had done something. And so then his friends jump in, and I don't even know how. It's like Tasmanian Devil Ball outside. I'm not hand to God. They go outside. The entire crowd runs after them, and we are just standing in an empty room. And we were mid-song, and we had stopped the song because I was about to talk for a second before we went back in, and we just stood around and talked for a while, and then they all came back in. They're like, man, sorry about those guys. I'm like, no problem. And I'm like, and if you and we just went back, it was just like a 4-minute pause in the middle of this song while there was just a brawl, and I don't know why we didn't follow them. We just were shocked and just stood around on stage for a minute, and I didn't know.
And you stayed close to Kevin for quite a long time.
Yeah, we're still friends. I'm gonna send him a thing and ask him if he wants to talk about that. Okay, I think that sews it up. Unless you have anything else you want to talk about on this for the song, and then we can get to some recommendations.
Yeah, no, I'm great. Again, thank you so much for having me on, and I'm loving doing this.
Okay, do you have a recommendation for this week?
Yes, my recommendation is to find your local halal restaurant that has a New York City style chicken and rice. Shout out to Halal Rooster in Rochester. But my wife and I just came back from New York City, where we literally ate streetcar halal every single lunch for our entire honeymoon and loved every moment of it. So find and support your local halal restaurant.
I have 2 recommendations. One is the thing that I'm actually honest to God into this week, that you're just gonna be like, fuck you. And then 2 is a song that I really like that I think you'll enjoy more.
Great.
So the first one, which is the Lance is being truthful and not trying to find cool things that he's actually into. The first one is I have been insane about Marcus the Worm for the last couple weeks. My children love it as well. So
is
Marcus,
that the Richard Scarry?
No, it's nothing. Okay. No, it's a VR chat thing. I don't know if you remember VR chat. So VR chat, you put the headset on, you can be whatever you want to be, and you just go from room to room and talk to people. It used to be bigger, but apparently people are still doing it. Marcus the Worm is a bipedal worm thing in a VR chat group, and the person who does it uses like a super deep text-to-speech voice. And the guy he's talking to is this streamer named Rafflegator, and Marcus is vaguely threatening and unhinged, but me and my children are quoting it just constantly right now. So this is Marcus is in this house party setting, and he doesn't like the cabinet.
That is incorrect.
It's incorrect. It's just incorrect. What's wrong with it? It looks fine to me.
It's making me mad.
Is it that little green shade on it? Is that what's making you mad about it?
I am mildly irritated, Robert.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Tell me how you want me to fix the cabinet, and I'll fix
Very
the cabinet.
Irritated.
Okay, well, tell me how to fix the cabinet, and I'll fix it.
Quite irritated.
I understand, Marcus. I'm irritated because you're irritated. So how are we going to fix this?
I'm going to go remove South Carolina.
The state? The entire state of South Carolina? No, Marcus, come back. Marcus, you can't do that. Marcus, are you holding the door closed? I can't.
No, man.
He's done this.
I'd find a hiding spot, man. Marcus is pissed.
Robert.
Yeah.
South Carolina is gone.
So there you go.
I don't know what to make of this.
He just looks for South Carolina is gone. So we say that a lot too in our house. Okay, and then my actual rec this week is this group called the Neighborhood Kids. I don't know if you've heard them. And this is a song they did with an artist named Damage, who is real cool as well. We don't listen to the whole thing, but I will at least play you Damage's verse. It's just Gen Z Rage Against the Machine.
Marching down the streets and you invited. Nico, come outside. Fist up in the air and put it higher. We the people gotta stay united. First things first, free Gaza. I need Elon's body dropping. I need TNT in Congress. I need Luigi in my roster. Get janitorial. Got no street sweeper. Big fan of dead leaders. VIP meet and greet 'em. Treat any money mo. How I treat my CEO like Bird. But all I can see now.
Nice.
I think they're wonderful. I've been really into them. Both the Neighborhood Kids and Damage. I've been listening to Damage's solo stuff
I gotta
as well.
say, I need Tom Morello.
You need some guitar?
I need some Tom Morello in this. And actually, I love their drummer as well. As simple as his parts are, they just make some of those songs.
So,
but I really liked what I heard on this. Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes me happy when the kids are doing some protest music and some aggressive shit, and I'm enjoying it. Next week is Fairy Under Finger.
Yeah. That'll be some good meat for discussion.
Oh yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. Also, some people, like I said, people were texting me or DMing me and stuff. If you want to leave some nice feedback or hateful feedback, whatever, criticize me. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Hate has no home here.
But it does on YouTube. So go ahead and
yes, unfortunately.
Feel free to put it underneath any of the podcasts. I'll check them on YouTube. And if you have a question or a comment or a concern or a violent reaction, drop them onto YouTube. I think would be the best place. I was gonna make a email or something for this. I don't think it's that deep. Just post them on YouTube. We'll read them there. I think that's it. So awesome.
Thank you so much, Lance.
Yeah, I will talk to you next week probably.
All right, later, Gator.
Yep, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.